hero training. Get your cape and mask and let's go. Last week, we talked about being joyful. This week, our focus is going to be on patient. This is a tricky one. Waiting without complaining. I know this is hard for me to do too. This week, we had some storms that came through, and we had to go down in our basement, and we had to wait. We had to be patient while we were downstairs, waiting for those storms to go by. It was kind of hard, but we did it. Can you think of a time that you were patient? Maybe you were really hungry and you wanted to eat, but mom didn't have supper quite ready to go yet. You had to be patient. Maybe you saw a slide that you wanted to go down, but there were some other kids that were on the slide too. You might have had to be patient and wait without complaining till it was your turn. Why is it important to be patient? In the story we're going to read today about Noah and his family were patient in the ark. I know this is a familiar story to you, so I want you to think about how Noah and his family had to be very patient. When God washed the world. In a green valley near a cypress forest lived the good man Noah with his good wife. Every morning and evening Noah talked with God. God told Noah about the flood he was sending to wash away earth's wickedness. The water would be so deep it would cover the cypress trees. It would cover the highest mountains. Said God to Noah, "Build an ark for the saving of all that will come into it." Years and years, and still more years went by. People came from near and far to watch Noah and his sons and the workmen build the ark. Noah warned the people about the flood that God was sending to wash away earth's wickedness. But the people laughed at him. They said, "There has never been a flood, and there never will be." When the ark was finished, out of the forest came wild animals. From the green valley came tame animals, 2 by 2, some of them by 7s. The animals marched as in a parade, up the ramp, through the doorway into the ark. Angels that couldn't be seen were leading the animals and birds to the ark. Inside the ark, Noah and his family waited and listened and waited. But nothing happened that day, nor the next, nor the next, nor the next. 7 days, Noah and his family waited and listened and waited. And then they heard it. Splat, splatter, splash. Rain fell on the ark. Splat, splatter, splash. Pour, it rained harder. Noah looked up through the ark window. He saw angry clouds. He saw lightning. He heard the thunder roar and the wind roar. Flash, crash, roar, pour. The animals were frightened. Cows bawled, tigers screamed, elephants trumpeted. But Noah and his family were not afraid. They knew God would take care of them. The water became deeper and deeper and deeper until it was a sea of tumbling waves. Day and night, angels watched over the ark. Safely it rode through the storm. 40 days, 40 nights, it rained, and then the rain stopped. The ark floated quietly on the water. The animals and birds became less afraid. One day Noah felt the bottom of the ark scrape on the ground. Then it stood still. "The water must be going down," he said. "I will let a bird fly out the window," said Noah. "If the water has gone down below the treetops, the bird will stay in the trees and not return." Noah first sent out Black Raven and later White Dove, but they both came back to the ark. Noah said, "The water still covers the trees." Then one day, White Dove brought back an olive leaf, and another day, she didn't come back at all. "The water is drying up," said Noah. Days and days and more days went by. They looked out and saw the ark rested high up in the mountains. They saw trees that were uprooted and rocks tumbled about, but the ground was dry and the grass was growing. Still, God did not open the door of the ark, not yet. One day, after the grass had grown tall enough to give the animals plenty of food, slowly, the door of the ark opened. Noah opened the doors of the rooms inside, and the animals came hurrying out of the ark. They barked, they trumpeted, they squealed for joy. They rolled over and over in the cool green grass, and then raced down the mountainside. Songbirds sang, God is good, God is love, then flew away to find places to build their nests. Noah and his family built an altar unto the Lord and prayed. God answered by hanging a rainbow in the sky, the very first rainbow ever to be seen. Noah and his family had to be very patient and wait without complaining. They had to wait for the rain to start. Then they had to stay in the ark for 40 days and 40 nights while it rained and it poured. They had to be patient. And then when the flood was gone, they had to wait until all the trees grew and the grass started to grow. And then they knew that it was time to come, they could come out of the ark. And God slowly opened the door for them. But they had to be very patient and wait for God to open that door. What are some ways that Jesus was patient? Jesus was patient with the disciples. He was also patient with Paul. I bet you can think of some other ways that Jesus was patient and some other Bible stories in the Bible about patience. This week, our memory verse is, with all lowliness and gentleness, with long suffering, bearing with one another in love. Ephesians 4:2. Make sure you check that memory verse out on your coloring sheet when you color the picture to go along with our story this week. If you met one or more of your challenges this week, let us know and we'll make sure that you get a sticker. Here are your challenges for this week. Number 1, memorize this week's verse. Number 2, act out a scenario where you have to be patient. Practice sharing your toys and waiting patiently. Practice waiting in line for something. Number 3, make a snack that requires you to be patient while you wait for it to be ready. Maybe you can help mom or dad make some cookies. While they're in the oven, you have to be patient and you have to wait for those cookies to get done. I know they're going to smell really, really good, but you have to wait till they come out of the oven, and then you might have to wait a few more minutes until they cool. Good luck! I can't wait to hear about how you were patient this week.